What's going on, you guys? It's Ariel here. Welcome back to The Casual Nerd. In today's episode of the podcast, I have not only a lovely friend of mine, but I have one of my favorite YouTubers on the podcast today, Miss Bubbles, which, by the way, that username is adorable. I love it so much.
Thank you so much. I'm your favorite YouTuber. Oh my goodness. What do you mean? I'm
I
shy.
watch your content to relax at night. Like if I'm feeling like if I have anxiety or if I have something that I feel stressed about, I'm like, okay, it's time to sit down and watch some Bubbles or some Cozy Gamers. It's just like that's my happy place.
That's so sweet. Thank you. I appreciate you. I look up to you a lot because not only of the amazing accomplishments you've made in the industry, but also your patience for playing Dark Souls games, which is something I'll never understand. That is
And
a lot of patience and smartness that needs to go into these games. I'm just like, that could never be me.
some people call us
So it's very
masochists.
inspiring to see you do it.
Some people call us
Yeah,
masochists.
yeah,
I just
yeah.
say we have
I think you are, cause you
tears.
like yeah, cause you guys like getting beat up by bosses, and, like, I'm just like, "Why?" And it's not just, like, 1 time or 10 times or 20 times, like, sometimes it's 100 times of you dying. I'm just like, "Why?"
Well, it's I can only speak for myself, but I know that whenever I go in and when I played Dark Souls for the first time, I'm still a noob at a lot of the
Mm.
Souls-like games because I only started I think in 2021, 2022, and it was during the COVID time and one of my friends saw that I did a reaction to the Elden Ring trailer. I did not like it whatsoever. I thought that, oh, this looks like The Witcher on crack. Like it looks like just an over dramatized version of The Witcher. And one of my friends at the time was telling me, Ariel, you need to play Dark Souls 1 remastered. Try that. If you don't like it,
Mm.
then that's fine. And I tried it. Excuse me. Everything changed because I realized that when I got to a certain boss, Smoen Ornstein, for those who know, you know. And when that boss beat me so many times, and I thought, how can I approach this differently? How is this tactic that I'm going to do different to accomplish what I need to accomplish? And it clicked for me
Mm.
that like I literally anything I set my mind to, I can do. I can accomplish it. And that's why I fell in love with Souls likes and Souls games because it made me
Yeah.
aware of myself. It made me aware that I can push myself to do better things.
Yeah, yeah. I can tell from so for me, um, Mr. Bubbles, he loves Souls games. Like these are his games. He's been playing them since he was a kid. So he loves them a lot, and I can see how accomplished he feels after he gets that boss done. And then he's like, "Oh, that was a piece of cake." But even though he's like he had to do it again, 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 again. I did play, funny enough, Elden Ring with him last year. That was really fun, but I would not play it alone. I'll play it with someone, but never alone. There's no way I'm doing this alone. But yeah, it is fun. Like I could see that, but also if I was doing it alone, I wouldn't. I'm just like,
This is a year that I actually get you on video to be like,
I'll
challenge Miss
cry.
Bubbles to do one video by
You know,
herself of Elden Ring.
my brother, he got me, where is it? Lies of P. It's somewhere in here. Yeah, it's in the back. He got me Lies of P. I'm not playing it. He bought it for me, but so I'm not playing it though. I don't know why did you get that from? So I'm gonna play it. My brother has beat Elden Ring over 25 times. I'm like, you're crazy. He's
I I
insane.
platinumed
It's
Elden
like,
Ring last year.
there you go. Yes, it's like,
So it's very interesting
sorry,
actually to see.
yeah, Elden Ring, not Dark Souls. Yeah, and then he's done like one, two, three Dark Souls, all of those, and oh my god, Jesus Christ.
It's one of those things too of where like I didn't think that I was cut out for difficult games before that. So I understand your perspective very much so because like I even remember when I was on a video with you and I called Elden Ring my cozy game. You're like, Ariel, what is this?
Yeah, no, we're not doing that.
It's like I sit down
We're not
actually
doing
just to
that though.
relax, play Elden Ring. Oh my gosh. So today's podcast, it's going to be so much fun. We're going to talk about cozy games. We're going to talk about the games that you're playing recently. And we're just going to talk about overall
Mhm.
like cozy game community because the cozy game community is something that has fascinated me for such a long time. Not only as a journalist, but as a gamer and someone who just is into psychology with the gaming. I find it so interesting how cozy games have become a staple in everyone's lives. So if you could tell me and tell all of us how you got into cozy games, what made you start in that genre for doing YouTube
Mm.
content?
So that's many questions. When it comes to cozy games, I never really called them cozy because I started back in the day with your Nintendogs, Cooking Mama, these stuff, which are considered now cozy games. So back then, I called them life sims or like green grass games, I guess. So I didn't know that they're called a cozy game. I used to play also like Animal Crossing New Leaf and Sims. I grew up with Sims. But then I also used to play a lot of platformers, funny enough, which I hate now. So your Hercules, Tarzan, 101 Dalmatians, these kind of stuff. So I started with these, didn't realize that they're called cozy games. But then when I started my channel, it was in 2021, I think, or 2022. I don't remember. It's like, so well, it's gonna be 4 years this year. So yeah, it's 2021. I started the channel and it was like slowly becoming a search of cozy games through the showcase called Wholesome Snack. So then I was like, oh, so these games that I do like, outside of the RPGs that I adore, are called cozy games. And these are like my palate cleansers. So then I started to associate, like, okay, these are called cozy games. But I've always been a lover of farming games and these kind of like, they're kind of repetitive chore type of games like Nintendogs. You're just taking care of your dog. There's something therapeutic about doing these, even though like when you think about it, you're just like you're doing a chore. Like you're just taking your dog and you're training your dog. Like what's so fun about it? But the way that they integrate gameplay loops that make it fun and the progression system is fun through the game design, it is addictive. Even with farming games, like you're having different crops every season, but then you start off with 1 star crop, then slowly it becomes like a 3 star crop. You're getting more money, you're expanding your house, you're getting married or whatever. I've never gotten married pretty much in all of the farming games because I'm just like so ingrained in the, or like what is it called? English is not my first language. I'm so obsessed with the farming part and like expanding my farm that I just forget that there's a whole romance kind of side of these games which cozy gamers love. And yeah, that's how it started. With my channel, I just noticed that hmm, there just wasn't really a lot of women doing videos back then. Like 2021, you can count on like maybe 10 hands who are covering. It wasn't even 10 hands, probably like one hand. The women who were covering cozy games, especially on the Nintendo Switch. So now we do have Iona, and Iona told me her inspiration is because she always saw men holding a Nintendo Switch and they're making videos about the Nintendo Switch. You wouldn't really find women. There was me. You could see like back then in my thumbnails, I'm the one who's either holding a Nintendo Switch or I have the Nintendo Switch next to me. So that was my story as well. It's like I didn't see women cover these games and I love Mr. Maddie and ACG. So I wanted to do something kind of like how they do their reviews and stuff like that. But let's make it for cozy games. Like why are women not reviewing cozy games? Why are they afraid of talking about performance, music, presentation? Even till today, a lot of the women that I see reviewing games will talk about the gameplay, but they're still a bit afraid of digging into like, okay, let's talk a little bit about the music. Let's talk a little bit about this and that. Um, so yeah, that was like a gap in the market, and that's how my channel blew up in 2023. Sorry, 2022. But sadly, September 2022, I had to move to the UK. So I had to leave my rig behind and all of that. And in that time, a lot of people came into the cozy gaming sphere in YouTube. And now we have like a surge of new creators. And I'm here being forced to live stream, which I did not like at all because I only have a laptop with me. I can't really use like my Premiere Pro. My laptop would just explode. Like it's just not, and it's not like a cheap laptop. It's a really expensive laptop, but I got a faulty one. And by the time we realized it was faulty, the warranty was out. So I need to pay. I already paid like 2,500 for that laptop. You need to pay 1,000 because I had to change the I think either the motherboard or something with like the heatsink and that whole part of the heatsink and all of that. So I was like, we're not doing that. So yeah, that's how it started. That's how I realized like, oh, these are called cozy games. Oh, like, the showcase of Wholesome Snack. There's like this surge of cozy games that are coming up. And yeah, but I'm not just a cozy gamer. I love RPGs. As you can see, like by my setup, the only cozy thing is like this plushie and maybe like my time at Sandrock House. Everything else is just not. It's like okay, the Fae Farm, but like the big stuff is all non-cozy stuff.
Yeah, I think that's
But
actually how
that
we
comes
became friends too,
into
because we were discussing Witcher on Twitter, and that's how I found your
yeah,
content.
yeah,
Yeah, because whenever I was like looking for different YouTubers to watch, there was Cozy K, and I already loved her content and everything. And then I saw your stuff,
yeah,
and then I went to your Twitter because
yeah.
anytime I really like a YouTuber, I go immediately to their Twitter or social media to support them. And I saw that you were talking about The Witcher,
Oh,
and it's like. Still my heart, Twitter, like a Witcher and Cyberpunk, I'm obsessed already. So it was really interesting to see
yeah.
like all of the cozy games that you play, and then you're just like, no, I'm into these other games. I'm into Starfield, I'm into the Dragon Age. Like there's so many different games that are fortunately out there for us to enjoy. And it leads me into another thing that I want to talk about. When we were discussing
Hmm.
cozy games before, I know that you were discussing this on Twitter. Objectively,
Mhm.
what is a cozy game? And I think a lot of people kind of get
Yeah,
lost in the sauce of what is a cozy
yeah.
game? How do we do we subjectively interpret our own cozy games? Like what was that discussion that you were having on Twitter? Like what is objectively a cozy game?
Yeah. So that discussion did piss off also a few cozy game content creators. And for me, there's a couple of things that we have to talk about when it comes to this. I think you should differentiate between a comfort game and a cozy game. However, a lot of cozy content creators, they say like no, it's the feeling that the game is giving you. For me, I don't think it's going to work anymore because game developers are using the term cozy as a genre now. So when we are now establishing a new genre, it makes it a little bit difficult. So I think they're talking about comfort game. But my biggest argument about this was when someone goes on YouTube and they say best cozy games on Nintendo Switch, do you seriously think they are, say not Switch because the stuff that I'm gonna give are not on Switch. Let's say best cozy games 2025. Do you seriously think they are here to talk about Dead Island? Do you seriously think they're talking about GTA? Do you seriously think they're thinking about Octopath Traveler? No, these are very difficult games. Like the difficulty spikes and the gore and all of that, they're not looking for that. So that was for me like the thing that rattled the feathers of people. I was like, when people are searching for cozy games to play on Nintendo Switch, you can't be putting these very difficult RPGs in there and these like gory FPS games. That is not what they're looking for. And this is why I feel like hopefully this will become an established genre, which like we can say genre rather than just a tag that we use of, like on Steam, you'll see the casual tag, the cute tag, stuff like that. When you click on that tag, you'll still see different weird stuff that is not even cute. And you're like, why are these tagged as cute? Like, it makes no sense. So, hopefully, as more developers are using the term cozy as a genre, we will then be able to say, this is cozy. But for me, as a creator, I know when people are looking, this term is blowing up. Like, there's a reason why cozy content creators are doing so well. It's because people are looking for these cute slice of life games that can relax you. And even then, recently, which is something that I always had on my channel, I see a lot of people say cozy games, non farming. So now they're starting to specify if it's going to be a farming game or a non farming game. And you'll see videos blowing up when you use cozy game, non farming, or goodbye farming because a lot of cozy games, which are like Harvest Moon and the Story of Seasons, Coral Island, stuff like that, they are considered cozy. But a lot of people in the cozy gaming genre, they hate farming. So this is also now starting to become, yeah. So that's why for me, I always used to make videos as cozy games. Like in the beginning, I put everything in one, but you could still see me sometimes use like cozy and cute and farming. But when I do like last year, my 10 out of 10, I did 10 out of 10 cozy games and then 10 out of 10 farming games, and I differentiated them.
Interesting. I see that.
So I don't know where this is gonna go now. We'll see what happens.
With everything, I feel like that becomes it. increasingly popular, there's always going to be mudding of the waters. And I feel like, like as someone who does, Souls content primarily on my other channel, there's always going to be people trying to say, what is a Souls like, for example? And that's so,
Yeah.
like, for me, that was the same thing as like getting into the cozy game territory, because when you're differentiating the difference between Souls and Souls like, there's very unique concepts like having a save point as a bonfire, having a resurrection point, being able to customize like your gear, all this kind of different things
Yeah.
that made a Souls like. So I understand your perspective entirely when it comes to cozy games. Like for me, my first time really
Yeah.
diving into that genre of cozy games was with
Mm-hmm.
Animal Crossing's
Mm-hmm.
New Horizon during COVID.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Even like let's say if someone is searching on YouTube, best Souls games, do you seriously think someone can just put Witcher just because they play it on master difficulty and they think that they're dying a lot and it's hard, then that makes it a Souls game? That's the argument that I see other creators use, and it just pisses me off because I'm like, you are misleading people and I hate it. But thankfully, after I posted that tweet and it did rattle some feathers, it did what I needed it to do. These same people now are not using these crazy games as a cozy game anymore. However, now you're getting, of course, like it's a new year, a lot of new content creators are coming in. They see that cozy games are doing really well. They're trying to get into it. And I'll see like top 25 cozy games coming this month. I'm like, girl, where did you find all of these games? And they will have like very difficult, like Metroidvania kind of games in there, stuff like that. And I'm just like, like we're putting the number which looks high, so you're making people click. But these games, there's at least 10 of them that are not cozy. They're very difficult. And I can send you later like some links to show you what they have in these lists. I'm just like, we're doing this again,
Oh
guys.
gosh, yeah. For me, like whenever I see cozy games, I see games like Animal Crossing, like Fae Farm. Oh, there's one that
Yeah.
I started playing, Fields of Mystria. Like that's another one that I absolutely
Yeah.
fell in love
Yeah.
with, and I finally like bit the bullet and decided to go into Stardew Valley for the first time a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I never looked back. It completely
Yeah.
consumed me.
Yeah. I remember posting like a community post. Bless you. Bless
Oh
you.
my god! Hello.
Camera said hi. Hello. Who are you?
I think my camera spontaneously combusted.
The camera is just not. Look at it. It's just like, what are we doing? Which planet are we on?
Oh my gosh.
The AI is not AIing.
Now, tell me about
Yeah.
what you think of a lot of how the cozy games are constructed nowadays, because I know that there's so many of them coming out now all at once because of the popularity surge. What do you think
Mm,
of this could be a lot of questions, but what do you think of the
yeah.
music? And do you think that it can be used as kind of like a relaxation tool as well as just a game you play?
I think like you can draw on Animal Crossing. That game has a new soundtrack every hour. So you've got your 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and they change. And there's definitely a reason why they did it that way, right? If it was just gonna not matter, they could have had maybe two soundtracks when you're playing outside and then a couple more when you go to different shops. But no, every shop has something. Every island you go to has a specific song every hour. So you've got 24 hours in the day. You've got 24 soundtracks that are just going on every single day. I think that cozy gaming music is just so good. It is definitely very relaxing. I use a lot of them in also like my news videos, stuff like that. But you can also trace it back to, it's not just like, oh, because they're popular now. Because Animal Crossing did that with New Leaf, and I say arguably New Leaf OST is a lot better than New Horizon. That's just me. So yeah, I prefer New Leaf a lot more than New Horizon. It's just more calming than New Horizon is. And I feel like the New Horizon ones are just like more samey, whereas New Leaf, they're very different. Um, but even when you go back to playing like your Story of Seasons Trio of Towns or your um what else can I think? Sims, like Sims 1, everyone knows these soundtracks. These and this is from 1995, right? I think that's when the game
My gosh,
released.
yes, I think so.
Yeah, so even then, like Sims 2 as well, like there's not a single person with if they played those games as a kid and now 30 almost 30 years later, you play those music in the background, they're just gonna be like, wait, is that a Sims game? And I've tested that in my videos. I would just play the songs in the video and someone would be like, is that Sims 1 music in yours? So how did they notice that, right? So they are very memorable. I don't know if developers are doing this intentionally, but then again, when you think about Animal Crossing, there must be a reason. Why do you have a new song coming up every hour, right? But I don't know what the psychology behind it is.
I think part of it is nostalgia as well, because I feel like nostalgia is one hell of a
Mm,
drug a lot of the time. When I was
yeah.
reviewing Spyro, at one point, the remasters that they did, that was my first time
Mm.
playing Spyro. And I went
Ah,
into it and I thought, wow, this is going to be so incredibly like a nostalgia kick for so many people, because this was a part of so many people's childhoods. And the same thing with The Sims. Having The Sims now, the 1 and 2 and 3, I believe, out on PC is incredible. Like, I didn't think that EA was going to do that at all.
same, same. I thought it's a lost cause, and yeah, I love 1 and 2, but I didn't think about it. Then they bought My Sims to Switch, and I was like, they might be onto something. Let's see if they do the same with Herbs and Bustin' Out. These are games that are so underrated, but they're so good. So,
They really are. And I remember even watching my friends play The Sims when I was a kid. And you're right, that music is iconic, because whenever you think of The Sims, you think of the music, but you think of like the hours of just like sitting down and having mindless fun. Like you're just sitting there and it's just like, okay, I'm gonna like let my dog eat the gardener today. Like it's just like so weird.
yeah. You like when I talk about it now, like the song is in my head. It's like da 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 da. It's always in your head, like.
This is great. I love it. And speaking of different games that are coming out right now or have came out, I'm actually very curious
Mm.
what you've been playing currently right now besides the cozy games that you're talking about on your channel.
So I finished Baldur's Gate 3 at the beginning of the year. That was amazing. I had so much fun with that game. I don't plan on doing several playthroughs and stuff because that playthrough took me 80 hours, and that was me rushing through it because I know it should have taken 120, but I was like, I was playing it with my friends. I was, guys, I'm done. And my friends, they have like over 600 hours in their Baldur's Gate. They've done several playthroughs. They know everything. And they'd be like, "Oh, but we have to go to talk to this." I'm like, "No, no more side quests. I'm done. I want to wrap up the game. I'm done." I loved it so much, but it's such a massive time commitment. Plus, trying to like schedule a time that works for three different people, it's not easy. It's not like me being like an 80-hour game. Whenever I have time, I will come and play. No, I have to schedule it in with two other people based on their own life and everything that they have going on. So for me, that was like, please, I'm done. I'm done because this whole planning thing is becoming a chore. I'm done. Then after that, I finished Dragon Age Veilguard. I made sure to finish as much as I can. So all of my factions were really good. We were ready for the last fight. All of my companions finished all of their quests, stuff like that. Then it was like either I go back to Ghost of Tsushima because I'm more than halfway done with the game, and I've actually repeated it twice, and I always reach this point, and then I get distracted with something else. So it was either that or Stellar Blade. I'm about like a bit more than one third of the way done. But then freaking Hello Kitty came out, and and then Sims 1 and 2 came out, and ended up not playing either.
I love how you're just like, oh, I need to finish this, I need to finish this, but like it's shiny thing. Like there's a shiny thing over there, and I want it.
Literally. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh man, I actually want to ask your opinion on Dragon Age Veilguard, because I finished that game last year. It was towards the tail end of the year. I fell in love
Yeah.
with it. It was so good. There were things that I thought, obviously, like some of the as a writer, so like there were things I noticed that they were like, okay, you gotta work on the writing a little bit here. But
Yeah,
overall,
yeah.
it was my introduction into Dragon Age, and it's what made me
Mm,
go into Inquisition. I want to know your thoughts on it, because
yeah.
so many people were giving me so much shit for liking the game in my review.
Yeah. Same, and I think that is like a whole another topic of just people being upset over your opinion. I think it's really stupid because when you come to a review, you should know that this is gonna be subjective. It's not objective. This is someone's opinion. At the end of the day, they have their own upbringing, they have their own experience with games. It's going to be different than yours. So you shoving your opinion down someone's throat. I don't have that in my channel. Like I do not allow it. Like the second I feel like someone is trying to tell me what I should like and dislike, get out. Like I don't want you here. So that's one thing to take that out of the way. When it comes to my experience with Dragon Age, I did buy 2, but I never got to playing it. I do have Inquisition and I've restarted it twice, and I always reach half point of the game and then I drop it because someone spoiled the ending for me, and I'm just like, you mother. So that is why I just left the game. And then I played Veilguard. I had a really good time. I do understand why some people say like there are certain topics that felt out of place to be shoved in the game, which kind of made sense. So they could have done it, as you said, better with the writing. But other than that, combat was really fun. I really liked the skill tree. I really liked the whole detonation and like the priming and the detonator thingy. That was a fun concept. Really loved being I was a rogue, so loved the archery and then the slash, like it's so fun. There wasn't enough enemy variety, which I did notice. Bosses are different, but then the enemies, they're just very repetitive when you're going about. Yeah, it's just like the same. And then I know a lot of people were upset that you don't have really like a dark urge kind of playthrough like you can with Baldur's Gate. But I'm like, not every game should be gut wrenching. Plus, when you finish Dragon Age the Veilguard, there is some stuff that happened that I was really sad. I think you know what I'm talking about at the end. So I was really sad. I'm like, what else do you want? And even one time, like one of your actions completely destroys something else. I'm like, that already was also gut wrenching. It's like, what else do you like? For me, that is enough because maybe because I just finished Baldur's Gate 3 and I saw how dark that game is. I just didn't need another chaotic, dark, like kind of, sucks the heart out of you kind of game. So I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Apart again from like a few writing stuff that could have been done better. Enemy variety could have been done a little bit better, but everything else, it was really fun. Really like the companions. For me, I really like the Griffin. So Asan, he was so cute. I really like Emric. I really like Davrin. I really liked what's his name? The guy from Treviso.
Oh,
Um,
I know who you're talking about. He's carrying like a coffee mug with him. I identified with him so much. I
yeah,
know
he's
I know
always
who you're
drinking
talking about.
coffee.
He's great. I love his accent so
Oh my
much.
god, why did I forget his name? Yeah, he's like he feels like Italian or something. I don't know. He
At
was really
first
cool
when
as
I
well.
listened to him, I thought he sounded like Antonio Banderas, and I was like, "Oh my god, be still my
He
heart."
does. Yeah, he does. He does. Yeah, so that is me liking a lot more companions that I did in Baldur's Gate. I hated the companions. I only liked Karlach. Yeah, I hate Lizelle. Freaking hate her. Um, Shadowheart, I don't know. She's just too much for me. Like she's cute, but then at times she's just too much. And then I like Asterion, but he's just too bougie. I don't know. They felt like very extreme personalities, and I just don't like it.
I
I
romanced
really liked
Astarion for two
Karlach.
playthroughs.
You know, he was trying to get in my character's pants all the time. Like, bro, relax. Chill.
Oh, it's so funny. It's interesting though because it's like I know that you said that you were getting to the end of the game and you were just like, I want to finish this up. I want to wrap it up. If you ever decide to do a playthrough, I'm not going to spoil any of it because it's gut wrenching, but in a satisfying way. I don't know if that makes sense, but
Mm.
like when you're going through Astarion's quest line, his entire backstory is very much worth looking at because I did his
Oh yeah, I
quest
did
line.
that.
Oh, you did the quest line
Yeah, yeah,
where?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I did their quest line, so I know.
Okay.
Like, I did everyone's, except for no, I even remember. Yeah, I did Gale. I did Will. I think. Yeah, his name is Will. I did that. I did all of them. Yeah, yeah. We made sure to still like the companions were a priority, but just not the outside world side quests. So yeah, I know what happened with Astarion, and I actually picked the worst ending for him, which is not what I should have done apparently. But I was like, he's bougie anyway, so might as well.
What's really interesting about that is like I chose the other ending for him, not the one that you're talking about for just for lack of spoilers for people. But it was so interesting because like I have two different saves of where I chose the good ending and I chose the bad ending, and I'm like, sorry, you gotta chill just a little bit, dude. Like this bad version of
Yeah.
you. It's making me think things. I'm just like I'm not. This is PG right now, okay?
Yeah. Yeah, he is so mean, like
Like, oh my
Jesus
gosh.
Christ.
He's like the version of like what was it? He's like a Kardashian but better looking a lot of the time. Like I want to
Kardashian.
listen, don't no. I know what you guys are thinking. Don't do any no. If you do a bad comment, out kicking the booty out. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's so interesting to me because like when I went in and I played Dragon Age Veilguard and I saw and this
Mm.
is people are going to probably think like, oh, she's just thirsty. No, like seriously, I have a thing for pale elves apparently because when I saw Solus, I was like, be still my heart. Who is this man?
Yeah, you can romance him in Inquisition, so
Yep. And I had the
yeah.
worst heartbreak ever.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, because you can carry like some of the decisions that you did in Inquisition to Veilguard, so
Realize that that was the case when I played Veilguard for the first time because it gave me an option like, oh, if you romanced Solus or if you did this, and I'm thinking, huh,
yeah.
what is this? And I clicked on those options, not even realizing what I was clicking on, and you go into the game and you see this entire character, and this is what makes me think I should have played Inquisition before Veilguard because there were so many different references with Varric, with Solus, with the Inquisitor, and everything, and I
The
thought,
yeah,
okay,
the Inquisitor herself. Yeah.
it was so
You
interesting to
can
go through.
choose. Yeah, you can choose like did you disintegrate the Inquisition or did you keep them intact and stuff like that. But I don't know. I think like even considering I never finished Inquisition, I still got a lot of understanding from Veilguard. I felt like there was a whole new plot line anyways at the end of the day with Galenane and what was this the other one I forgot. Yeah. So it was satisfying for me, but I understand that you might feel like, oh, I missed out on a bit of lore and stuff like that from the older one. But yeah.
It was really interesting for me, and I think that a lot it was kind of fun looking at some of the dialogue options too, because I remember
Mm.
specifically going through and seeing my rook having a choice. I think it was talking with the ravens at a certain point, and you had the choice to say, oof. And that made me laugh like nobody's business because I thought, why is this kind of an option of where like you could say, oh, I'm sorry, that's really unfortunate, I apologize, or just oof, like okay.
Yeah, I always did the middle, the like sarcastic thing. My rook was very sarcastic. It's like sometimes when the team is together at the table, I'll be more serious. But when I'm outside, it's just even with Solus, oh my god, I pissed him off so much. I was always being sarcastic, just like, bro, get out of here. I just don't like you. Just get out.
It's just a battle of the wits at that time, and it's just I was sarcastic with him at first because I thought this guy's gonna be an asshole, and then he brought me in, and that's the Dread Wolf. That's what he does. Okay,
Yeah,
kids,
because he's the
don't do
god of
drugs.
lies.
Kids, don't do drugs and don't follow the Dread Wolf.
Yeah, he's just the king of lies. Like,
Oh my gosh. But one of the next topics that I want to dive into is this content creation. This
mhm,
concept of where as reviewers we are always having to review the next game, like we always have to be on top of our game, we always have to
mm,
review what's always coming out next. What is your, since you were primarily in the cozy genre, what is your like I want to say perspective on how to review a game that is best fit for your genre, because like you said before, reviews are subjective, reviews are going to differ between person to person.
Yeah, so first to cover that, I have to say I do more of a before you buy, and I have a very unique formula that I've made up for my it's like my own system where at the end of the video I will say this game is for you if, not for you if, and my verdict. So this is how I try to be as objective as possible. So even if I hate a game, I will tell you all the reasons why you're gonna love it. And if I love a game, I still find the reasons why you're gonna hate it, and then I wrap it up by telling you how I feel. So, with that out of the way, sometimes it means that I do still have to use the word review in my SEO just because people are not searching, I don't know, Hello Kitty before you buy. They're gonna write Hello Kitty review, but then I will tell you how many hours I've played it and then just like explain to you the process and stuff like that. When it comes to choosing games, with this year, I decided to take a different shift. Last year, or actually like end of 2023, I kind of had like a existential crisis when it comes to the channel because of Starfield. I just wanted to cover Starfield and I felt like I'm being cornered into just cozy games, and I'm like, that's not me. Like, I have 3 Witcher tattoos. I don't have a single cozy game tattoo on me. So it just felt like I'm being cornered. But after doing that decision, I covered a bit of, so every month I would do RPG news roundups, and then I still talked about Cyberpunk, I talked about Starfield, I talked about like Visions of Mana, Metaphor, these kind of games. However, they don't perform the same as cozy games. So this year, I decided to move forward with more cozy and farming games and then cherry pick JRPG specifically. And then RPGs, so Western ones, will be a stream kind of game. So it's not going to be a review kind of game. And first, it's because RPGs are very big. So I had the issue last year where companies would give us a 80-hour game on launch date. So I got like a Dragon Infinite Wealth on release day. How the heck do you expect me to review that game on release? Like, I'm gonna be late. It's not gonna perform. I'm done for. They did the same with Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. Give it to me like a day after launch, even though it's like a 20-hour game and then it's all about the end game. But with gaming, relevancy dies very quickly. And I don't have that RPG fan base where I could do whatever the heck I want. Even with cozy games, if I'm not there on embargo date, the video is gonna flop. That's just the nature of YouTube. You can still have people say, oh, I love your content so much and I'm gonna be here day one. At the end of the day, the numbers speak a different story. So that made me realize, okay, I'm gonna cherry pick stuff. I stopped completely covering RPG news and even cozy gaming news. I'm just cutting it down because I feel like everyone and their mother are doing your monthly roundup of this is what happened, stuff like that. I just don't feel like I'm adding any value. Like, you can find the same video. So took that out of the way. And then when it comes to games, I will prioritize reviewing the games that I'm most excited about. And then everything else, I decided to stream them. So this is a new thing that I'm doing now on the channel. I'm revamping the channel. We did like new screens, and I already commissioned a lot of new emotes and badges and all of those. We're gonna roll them out in a celebration stream this week. So these are all for me to be encouraged to just dabble with more games, even if it doesn't mean I'm gonna review it. I'm still gonna play it, and my community is still gonna get like a first look kind of, you know, thing into this. And then if I enjoy it enough, I'll decide to review it. And I feel like that really made my calendar just feel a little bit more easy because I'm not a full-time content creator. I'm a full-time student, so I'm writing my own dissertation. I'm doing an MPhil, so it's very difficult. It's not easy, and content is not my full-time job. So when I sat down with myself in end of 2024, reviewed what has worked on the channel, what hasn't, and sometimes it is painful to look at these numbers, but you have to be honest with yourself and be like, this is what worked, this is what didn't. And now I decided, okay, this is going to be the content plan. I'm gonna focus on, let's say, like Hello Kitty. I did not just do a review. I did a review, a tips and tricks video. I did 2 shorts, and I streamed it twice already. So that's 6 stuff that I made. And then, funny enough, I posted the short on TikTok, and it blew up. It's like at 350,000 now. So when it comes to Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma, I'm gonna do the same Hello Kitty treatment. Fantasy Life, same treatment. But then when it comes to Two Point Museum, I'm really excited about that game, but I feel like they're not gonna give me the game that far ahead, and I don't feel like it's gonna get that many clicks, so I would rather just stream it. So it's just about when you have enough experience in your own channel and your own audience, you start to know more what you should prioritize as a review, what you're gonna skip, what you're gonna just stream. And that has really put the burden off me. Sims, I love Sims, but instead of making a video about it, I just did Is it worth it through a stream. We played each game for an hour, and the video is really, really good for a stream. Like, streams never cross for me or a lot of my friends like 5K views. Streams are very like, yeah, they don't tend to blow up as easily as a video. So that stream is at like a 3.5K. That is a massive success for me because my streams used to barely get 300 views. So it's about experience. You just try, you see what works, and then with time you will have enough information and data to know what is going to work for you.
Yeah, I really
So I
love
hope
that
that answered
explanation.
the question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really love the explanation because from when I was listening to how you were explaining it, for me it kind of made me compare like, oh, how do I do reviews and how do I go about different
Yeah.
things. And it's so interesting because like when I write up an article, I'll write up the article, I'll let my Patreon see it first. That way, if they have any information for me that they want me to add to the article that could add more like substance to it or more like of an audience perspective, I put that in there because it's,
Yeah.
it has to do with giving people information before they make a purchasing decision. And it was what made me understand that my opinion, and actually, your opinion and a lot of reviewers' opinions have weight, is that someone got Elden Ring because I was like speaking so highly about it, and now it's their favorite game, apparently, from what I was told. So it's
There you
very,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
very interesting to see how what we say can govern the way people think about certain games. Now, has that ever like worried you at all, or is that something of where like you look forward to someone like getting a game because you recommended it, or like what is your take whenever you see how you reviewed a game like impact someone?
So this is like why I formulate my videos with this is the game for you, if not for you, if and my verdict. If someone steals that idea, I will. Mm. But I'm so protective of that formula because I worked so hard to come up with it. And funny enough, let's say Hello Kitty. That is a game that has become like my obsession. I have over 40 hours in that game and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. When you watch that video and when you look at the comments, actually, you're gonna realize a lot of people ended up not buying the game. Why? Because I talked about stuff that they're not gonna like, which is this is a grindy game. This is a game that you need to log in every day if you want to have the best full experience for it. This game has motion sickness, which a lot of people don't cover. And that like my title was what others are not telling you about Hello Kitty. I found like not a lot of people are describing how the camera is moving like crazy. Like I just felt so nauseous playing the
See,
game.
that's good for me to know because I get motion sickness very easily. So that's interesting
Yeah,
that you
and
say
you'll be
that.
surprised. A lot of people actually have motion sickness, but not a lot of people talk about it because they don't experience it, which is fine. This is like where you fill in the gap that's in the market, something that other people are not addressing. That meant that a lot of people ended up buying it because of me and others did not. Is it a responsibility for me? I always say my community comes first. I'm not here to please developers. And that's why I'm known now for being someone who gets blocked by developers because I'm not here to sugarcoat your game. I'm not here to sell your game. I'm here to be honest with my community who puts trust in me in an economy that is full of inflation. People don't have money. I was just watching Mr. Maddie's video about GTA 5, GTA 6, and how Rockstar is gonna try and set a new kind of standard with pricing of maybe $90 to $100 for the game. This is insane because a company like this is capable to change the standard, meaning a $50 game is now gonna have more balls to be like, it's gonna be 60 now, right? But sadly, people's incomes are not stacking up to the way that games are getting more expensive. People's incomes are still sometimes the same as it was 5 years ago when things weren't this expensive. So for me, I have a duty to protect this cozy gamer who I know are working so hard. I know like a lot of subscribers are from Brazil, and in Brazil, apparently, games are very expensive. Like a $20 game might cost them a lot more. So why would I come and like lie to you about a game that is shit and be like, "Oh, don't buy this game, it's so good." Or just for the fear of like burning a bridge with a company. Or there's like this Moonfrost scam that is happening right now. They got upset and they blocked me and they just came and started to attack my character. I'm filming that video today and I'm like, I don't care about you. I care about cozy gamers who love decorating in games, and your game is predatory because it's not even disclosing NFTs in any of the front pages. So it is a responsibility. I know a lot of my content creator friends who got other people mad at them because they're like, you ruined this developer's career and stuff like that. No, I'm reviewing a product. Let's say I bought makeup and that makeup, I put it, let's say Huda Beauty. I love Huda Beauty, so that's why I'm gonna choose Huda Beauty. I got a Huda Beauty blush, I put it on my face, and it caused extreme rash, and something crazy went on with my face. So what do you want me to say? Oh, the product is great. It gave me a rash. It's the same with games, right? Or if you go to a restaurant, you're eating food, you're eating a food item, it was terrible. You're gonna give it a bad review. I don't care about what's gonna happen to the restaurant. I told you I have allergies and you still gave me peanuts, let's say. It's the same with a game. I'm reviewing a product. I'm reviewing a product. The product was shit. I'm gonna say it's shit. The product was good. I'm gonna say it's good. But I'm still gonna find you reasons why you're gonna like it. you
Yeah,
know?
that is exactly what I did with my review of Star Wars Outlaws. Like you saw my tweet a bit discussing like some of the pros and cons. I went into it, and that's actually a video I'm going to be posting tomorrow. But I didn't really enjoy the game at all. Like I know like I said in my review that Star
Yeah.
Wars fans are going to like this because it's very canon. It's going to be something that is in the whole genre of what Star Wars encompasses.
Yeah.
But for people like myself who just know that it's about Star Wars and maybe only heard of a few things from Star Wars, you're not really going to enjoy this game. Like it's very tedious. It's something of where like throughout 80% of the game it's just fetch quests, and that's not good for me.
Yeah, that's like when I saw your yeah, yeah, and that helps. Like for me, I have the game. I got it from Ubisoft, but I didn't play it because I saw like the mix of reviews and stuff like that, and then I just forgot about it because there's been so many games coming out. Then I saw your post, and when I saw like the whole fetch quest, the only time I've accepted fetch quests in my games were Hello Kitty and Disney Dreamlight Valley. When it comes to an RPG, I would be damned. Like, no, I play like again, Witcher 3. They're known for their storytelling. Cyberpunk, known for their storytelling. These are the games that I play. You think I can tolerate a game, be it adventure or RPG or whatever it is, for like like side quests? Even if it's side quests. And then you're saying the main quests are fetch quests. That's even worse.
Yep, and that's one
like,
thing. Like
no.
I like you guys. This is going to be a review that's going to be on my main channel, Huggable Hipster. But with everything that this game has done well, like the characters were done well, especially the robot ND5, done very well. There were so many things that just did not match up the way that I hoped it would, because when I was younger, I was a Star Wars fan. And when I just got older, I just fell out of it, like you do with certain things. But when you go into this, there are so many aspects of it that are done well, but so many things like the fetch quests, like Kay's mother, not like she's just briefly mentioned and then she comes back, and it's like I have no emotional tie to this character now whatsoever. You had no preface of making her an importance throughout the game. So there's so many things within it that could have been so much better and were done so poorly. It's
Yeah.
unfortunate, because it's like I know that people really love like Fallen Order and all the different Star Wars games. This was my first Star Wars game that I played, and it was so unfortunate because like so many people were like, "You're gonna love it, you're gonna love it," and it's like, you guys, I'm not gonna kiss a game's ass just because you tell me to.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. And again, that's why reviews is just I don't know what people expect when they click on a review, especially if you've already played the game. Because a review's purpose is to help you decide if you're gonna buy it or not based on what this person is showing you. So when you have also played it already, you have your opinion, and then you're still watching reviews about it. It's like, what's the point? Because unless you're gonna have a constructive, respectful conversation with me in the comment section. Anyways, you're gonna get banned. So I don't know what's the rage that comes out. Thankfully, I don't get those a lot, but I know like you have shown on Twitter many times that people do that. I'm just like, you went to her video, you know, especially like you review games that have come out years ago. So people have already played them. Unless you're coming here because you really like her and you want to just have a conversation with her, or you just found out about her, you want to meet her, you want to see what she thinks and have a respectful conversation, just like you would face to face. I bet you face to face, you're not going to be mean the way that you are being right now in the comment section. What are you doing here then? Why are you coming here to be like, your opinion is wrong? Like, what does that even mean?
So I have to ask. This is one question that I had written down before, as like one of the top questions that I wanted to ask you for the cozy community and for someone who's been doing this for a while now. If someone wants to get into cozy games or wants to get into content creation in general, what would be your advice to them? And as honestly as possible, because I know that a lot of content creators like to kind of like overcolorize what the content creation industry is and say, oh, it's fabulous, it's great, but I love your honesty in that you hold nothing back. So
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't say content creation is like fabulous in the terms of there are no repercussions. So, content creation is a great thing. Again, remember, I don't do this full time. So, my story is going to be different from someone who's doing this full time. When it comes, and the reason why I don't do this full time and I don't think I will ever do it full time is the fact that even as someone who's doing this part time, I see the pressure of you trying to stay relevant. This is something that every YouTube content creator, whatever it is, has to keep up with. There is an influx of games that are coming out, but also an influx of content creators who are starting. And you are trying to, all of you, capture the attention of this base of viewers that are available. So trying to be relevant means you sometimes are gonna end up making videos that you're not even excited about. But you just have to put it out there because you're like, well, it's been 2 months. I haven't posted a single video. What am I doing with my life? This is not good. And YouTube makes it so hard because once you enter YouTube Studio, the first thing you're greeted with is how shit your video has been. That is what they greet you with. You'll just see your arrows going down. You'll see this video is performing 10 out of 10. I was just like, Jesus Christ, bro. I just woke up. Can you give me a break? I just became like, I have a habit where I just enter studio. I don't even look at this way. I just go here and I click on community quickly just to see the comments. I'm like, I'm not here. I don't care. Just leave me alone. Stop showing me numbers, bro.
it's like like when I don't know if you did this when you were a kid, but if like like a what was it, like a nude scene or like something like kind of raunchy would come up on the screen, you're just like, nope, get it away from me. I want to look over here instead. I'm not looking at you right now.
Yeah. No, I swear I will hide. Like sometimes I'll put like physically, I put my hand here because I don't care. I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
I don't want to see those arrows
And then
go
they
down, please.
celebrate you so much. I swear. And then they celebrate you so much when you get a 1 out of 10. So this creates like this sense of my identity right now is either I'm a failure if the video is doing a 10 out of 10, or I am a kick-ass content creator if my video is doing a 1 out of 10. It is so annoying, and it's something that I see every single content creator that I'm friends with struggle with. I'm in two servers that are for content creators. One is for JRPGs, and then one that I made myself for my fellow cozy creator friends. And it's like a very closed off community because they're very vulnerable. They share a lot of like vulnerable stuff in there. And we are all always talking about the whole performance. The video did bad. The video is crazy. And you can never predict what's gonna happen. Like even when I said I have my experience now of knowing what my viewers are gonna like and not like, I still have surprise videos that will do really well that I thought are gonna do bad, and then videos that I thought are gonna do really good and they end up being a 10 out of 10. So this is something that you just need to know. But there is also really good stuff about content creation, which is you'll have like the best thing is like you'll talk to a viewer and they really respect you, they respect your opinion. I had the other day a comment saying like, "Oh, I was waiting for you," and like me and Josh were always like mentioned in the same stuff. So they're like, "Oh, I was waiting for you and Josh's review," and there were so many likes on that comment, and I'm like these guys are just not gonna buy the game before I or Josh talk about it. That is something that is so sweet. It's very nice. So content creation let me have this circle of friends that I can talk about games with that I never had before. And that is something that I was missing in my life. I loved gaming all of my life, but I never had friends to talk about games. So I'm enjoying this hobby all the time, and I can't tell anyone about. Look what happened in the story. Oh my god, I got this weapon now. Oh my god, I progressed to this. Now I actually have it. So, this is the beautiful thing about content creation. You finally have someone to talk to about these games. And of course, you get really good opportunities out of it. It is a good way for you to make money as well because you're getting your YouTube ads. So, you're getting your AdSense. And then you also get sponsorships. But with sponsorships, you have to set your own rules and boundaries. The other day, there was like this really hateful content creator that made a video called, like, okay, but cozy creators are the worst, and he was just like bashing content creators, and he bashed Iona, which was so sad to see because what he put about her was so out of context. So he made her look like a bad person when she's not. She's a really good content creator. She is very honest with her viewers, and she prides herself by her honesty and always disclosing if something is sponsored or not. And people are still going to try to twist the narrative and make things like that. So that's why for me, it was very important from the start. With sponsorships, I always make sure that there are boundaries. I will never sign a contract that has something along the lines of only talk about good things in the game. I will always tell them, my this game is not for you if it's gonna be part of the video. And then if I don't like something, I'm gonna say it. If you're not okay with that, please don't waste my time because scripts and playing and all of that takes a long time. Let's just leave this contract. I'm not going to sign it. So yeah, you get sponsorships, which means you can put back into your gear, you can make your channel look better, you can commission artwork, which is amazing. Like, if it wasn't for sponsorships, I would not be able to make this room that I'm sitting in. But that's all because I made sure that my videos are always honest with my viewers so that they know now, even if something is sponsored, I'm still 100% honest with you. Nothing has changed. You're always gonna see hashtag ad on my thumbnail if something is sponsored. I'm gonna tell you right away that this video is sponsored, and you can bet your butt that I am 100% about this game. I'm not removing anything about my opinion. I'm gonna tell you what's good, what's bad. This game is for you if, not for you if, and my verdict. So that's like a summary of how life is for a content creator. It's a mix of good and bad, just like any other side hustle that you pick up or full-time job. And then with full-time, remember, the pressure is more on you because now this is your sole source of income. So it means you need to post a lot more, you need to be consistent a lot more. There's a lot more pressure on you. And that's why for me, it's gonna kill my passion. So that's why I don't think I would ever do this full time unless like I have my own editors for thumbnails and videos. So I just play and script, but that is a lot of money, and I'm not at that space where I can actually afford it.
That's where I'm at with certain things right now. Like, I do content creation, but
Mm,
right now I'm a full-time video editor for Windows Central. And even with
mhm,
that, it's freelance
yeah,
and everything. And I do like video editing for other content creators. And for this, it's like, I love content creation and it's part of who I am. Like,
mm,
I've been doing this for almost 9 years now at this point. And when I see it and I see other content creators trying to go full time and how much they struggle with it and they're new, and it's like, oh, sweetie, oh
mhm,
gosh, my heart just like breaks for some of them because it's like they throw their entire being into it. And it's just like, one thing I would highly recommend for as well is don't lose yourself in the content creation. Understand that you are a
yeah,
person outside of content. You are a human being outside of content.
yeah,
Have other interests, have other hobbies. It's okay to hustle and work hard and do the things that you love, but don't get lost in the sauce. Don't get lost in the things that
yeah,
just because you're trying to make it and be a millionaire and everything. That's a dead idea. Like, it's not like content creation.
yeah,
it
yeah,
it it's fruitful and it works, but you gotta work really hard at it. Like I've been doing this for almost 9 years, and like I just started making like myself like really known as a creator only just at the beginning of last year.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it takes a
Sometimes
lot.
it can take a really long time.
Yeah, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of
And then
work. It
other
takes.
times you might blow up. And people think like, oh, a video blowing up is a good thing, but many times it's actually not, because you go from someone who is not that known in the world to all of a sudden you've got like a million people who know who you are. And it's like people don't know. That's like a million people who have so many different opinions about you and they have their own narratives about you and stuff like that. I'm always thinking like I really hope nothing blows up. I just want organic, slow growth. Like I'm good. I don't want anything blowing up. Thank God nothing has blown up like that. And I'm good. Like I don't want it. And then when it comes to like, advice about what to do, I just don't give advice, because I can come and tell you niche down, niche down, niche down, and then that's something that's just not gonna work for you or your channel or your audience. And then I can be someone who'd be like, do variety, do variety, do variety, and then you do it and your channel flops. Like I'm still trying. Look, I told you, like this year, I decided finally, like, okay, this is how I'm gonna approach Western RPGs. This is how I will approach JRPGs, and this is how I will approach cozy and farming games. And I'm testing it out. So far, it's working, but that doesn't mean if you are like I don't know, fighting cowboy. He does his own thing. He has his own videos that he makes. Mr. Matty, he has his own formula. So it's hard for me to come and say like, this is the advice, do this and do that, because every channel is very unique. You know, I see a lot of people who were able to live stream and they did well. For me, when I was forced into it, my channel was just dying. Like I just saw a decrease in subscribers and viewership and all of that. It's only working now in conjunction with me making actual videos. But I know there are other creators who solely do videos, as in live streams, and they're blowing up. So it's really different. It varies from person to person. So I don't think it's like my place. Before I used to give advice because I thought like I can help, but I realized like it's just I don't want to corner someone and be like, do this because it worked for me, and then it doesn't work for them and they get upset about it. So you just have to try. I don't know what to tell you.
No, I completely understand that. I mean, like, the experience that you have is something that's valuable, and I feel like experience at any level, whether it's someone who's been working on something for 1 year or, 10, 20 years, there's always such valuable experience, even if it's not advice, even if it's just like sharing what you've learned, like you have been and everything. I feel like that is something that's truly
Yeah.
of value. When it comes
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
reviews and everything like that, I feel like it's so interesting to see so many different people's perspectives, because when I saw your reviews and how like when you went through, and this is another topic that I wanted to dive into, when you were getting for the first time blocked by game companies for just being honest, I had to take a moment to sit down and
Yeah.
really think like, why are game companies, some game companies, not all, really afraid of honesty and really afraid of a reviewer doing their job?
Yeah, some of them are like that, and it's also in the AAA. I had a company that I was a creator for, and because I had their game in a video about farming games that I regret, they got really upset about it, and they wanted me to take down my creator, like I'm their creator, from my bio. And when you watch the video, like I'm not gonna say what company it was, but when you watch the video, I was very chill about the game. It wasn't like, for me, I'm never like, oh, this game is shit. Like I never do that. I will tell you all the things that I love about the game, and then I will tell you the stuff as to why I did not enjoy it. It's very respectful. It's very constructive criticism kind of video. And yeah, they got upset about it. It is a triple A company. They were not okay with that, you know? But for me, I just don't disclose who it was, because I respect the community manager and I don't want them to get in trouble for it. But yeah, it was really upsetting. And then I realized that day, that happened before Chilltown and all of that. I realized that, you know, your viewers are what matters. It always has been about my viewers. And I was like, I'm not going to let this upset me even more, because remember, you started this because you want people to chat about games with. So keep remembering that and don't make it upsetting, because you still like I still see all of these other creators who are still working with that company. I still get quotes from them, but I don't get invited like the other people still do. And it made me sad. I was like, oh, am I not good enough? Like, why is this? Why is that? And then I was like, no, I am good enough. And it's actually because they realize that my voice has so much value that they're afraid of me. And that's a lot, like I'm like, wow, my voice has that much of value that you're scared of me as a triple A insane company. You have so much money and you're scared of me. I barely have like when they did that, I barely had 15,000 subscribers. I'm like, you're scared of me this much that you had to have me remove the thing. I'm like, sure, I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat all of your games. I don't like all of your games. It's just no. Um, and before, yeah, before like when it comes to let's say like Chilltown or Moonfrost, I think you should have like your own PR team that handles situations with the community because I see developers trying to get entangled with it and they're very unprofessional about it and it's always been a failure. But that situation had a AAA company. It has its own community manager and they were the one who had to deal with it. And still, they asked me that you are not this company's creator anymore. And I'm like, chill, cool, no problem. So I don't know anymore if like a community manager can make things. I guess like that's their way of dealing with it professionally rather than them having to block you. But I don't know, for me, I really like Marvelous and Xseed because I hated what was it called? Trigger, not it's like Trigger, Infinity Trigger or something like that. It's kind of like Chrono Trigger, but not really. They made their own thing. I hated that game. And then Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life, I hated that game. And they're chill with me. They still give me codes. They still send me like packages and stuff. They're chill with it. They don't care. Yeah, but then other companies, they just hate it. And that's why always make sure that you are honest with like put your community first. Devs come and go. You can buy the game. If you're really antsy about reviewing it, just review it and be late. It's fine. Live stream it on launch day and then get it out of your system. Like My Sims, I reviewed it about a week later. The video still did well. But your community, they're irreplaceable. So
That's the thing too. That's those are the people that built us. Those are the people that watch our videos, that are there interacting all the time. Whether it be good or bad, or people just finding you for the first time, that is like literally the heart and soul of what makes a content creator's channel blossom. So I want to just say before we get into the last topic, I want to say thank you so much for joining me today on this podcast. It was so fun just getting to talk about all these different topics with you. But the last topic I really want to get into. Of course, anytime you're welcome on the podcast. So the last topic that I want to get into is something of where when we think of certain games that we hold dear, like something that is just a part of us, that is ingrained in our soul, what is the one game that people would associate with you and a game that you would just never stop playing? It's just a part of who you are.
never stop playing. I don't have any of that because I'm someone who just goes from game to game. I feel like people who know me on a personal level is Witcher 3. So that is the game. But funny enough, I tried so many times to get back into it. I tried modding it, all of that. I just can't. For me, I hold the story that I unfolded and the decisions that I made in my playthrough very dearly, and I could never do it again. Same with Fallout 4 and Cyberpunk. I just can't do it again you know so yeah, I'm not the type of person who goes back to games a lot. The only one back in the day was Sims 1 and Sims 2, but even now, like, I modded the heck out of Sims 2. I feel like I can play it maybe for a week max and then I'm done.
Okay. I completely
So
understand that though.
yeah,
That's how I am with
yeah,
Death Stranding because when I see the story and I watched
really,
everything unfold, I was like, once is enough for me. That's a part of me now, and I'm good.
yeah. Yeah, I really envy people who can like go back to their games and play them all the time. Like, let's say my brother, he plays like Elden Ring 25 times, he still does it again and again and again. I can't. Like, I finish a game and I'm done. Like, I don't need to go back to it. I've never, yeah, only when I was a kid, Sims 1 and 2. After that, nothing. Even GTA 5, love that game. Never think about going back to it, playing it again. Red Dead Redemption 2, adore it, adore it. So amazing game. Guardians of the Galaxy, adore that game. I just can't play them again. Just like one, same. Ghost of Tsushima now and Stellar Blade when I finish them. That's it. Baldur's Gate 3. I'm just done, you know? But yeah, you'll associate me with Witcher. You'll associate me with
Always.
Witcher, pretty much.
Always. I mean,
Yeah.
that's how I met you. That's how, our friendship blossomed. I mean, that's how everything started, is just like The Witcher. And that's a game of where
Yeah.
when I started to play it, I didn't realize how much I would fall in love with it. And then I played the DLCs and I was like, there's vampires in here. I'm getting it. This is amazing. This is incredible.
Yeah.
It's one of those stories of where I feel like CD Projekt Red unlocked gold. Like when they created those games based off of the books, they created something that will always be undeniable and unforgettable.
Funny enough, the author actually hates the games. He thinks they're for children. Yeah, he hates them. Yeah, he thinks the game is childish. It's so mind-boggling.
Yes, I'm going to rip off a demon's head. That's so childish.
He hates them. Yeah, yeah. I was
Um,
surprised. I love his books though. I have them. I read them. So, but yeah, he's not okay with the game.
that is interesting. I did not know that. That is fascinating to me because you would think that a creation of like a piece of your art or like an extension of it would be something really awesome, you know?
Yeah, he does not fuck with the games. He's like,
It's
nope,
it's just like it's
not for
so
me.
interesting to me because it's like even when I was going into what was it? Cyberpunk 2077, that game has been through hell and back, and I'm so happy that it finally got the redemption arc that it deserved because people were like I played
Yeah.
it at launch and I loved it at launch. I got like maybe 4 or 5 bugs to count when I first played it on Xbox, and then seeing people getting all the bugs that they were on PS4, and I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. I really hope this goes better. But now to see people who absolutely hated the
Yeah,
game fall in love with it, it's beautiful.
it is. But it scares me, this kind of story, because it's slowly becoming a standard that companies are like, oh, we can just have a redemption arc, just like No Man's Sky did, or Cyberpunk. And I'm like, no, please, let's not have that as our standard. Like, release your games well. I am very worried about Witcher 4. That's why I'm trying to taper my excitement, because also apparently Witcher 3, when it released, it was a flood of bugs and problems. But then the Game of the Year edition fixed it. And thankfully, I played it with Game of the Year. So I played it in 2016, it released in 2015. So yeah, I might just leave that. Like, I don't know, my FOMO won't really let me wait for a year for things to be patched up. But I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it's just gonna be the same bugs, problems, stuff like that, and then it will get fixed up. So let's see what happens. But I don't want this to be the arc that companies go for, like
Well, it's the same that goes for early
it's
access
not.
games. I want to be able to see how the game is progressing, but I also don't want it to be a flooded thing of mess and bugs and everything. I feel like last year was the year of early access games. And while it was really cool to see, like,
Don't get me
you know,
started. Yeah.
I remember us talking about that
I
before
was really
too.
pissed off. Yeah, last year I was so pissed off, especially with cozy games. Like, they are just releasing early access games which are proof of concept at best. Like, it's just a massive flop of stuff. But then now they're releasing stuff as full release, but then the story is not even complete. And I'm like, guys, what are we doing? What are we doing? And they're like, that's okay. And I even confronted one of the devs and I was like, that is not okay because you are disguising this game as a full access. And he's like, no, I posted on the Twitter and I posted in the devlog. But I'm like, you do realize that a lot of people only look at the store page. So in the store page, you should say that this is incomplete. And he never answered back. So I might make a video about that. But yeah, this is now coming also a standard, even Coral Island, one of my favorites, but it's still not finished. You still can't, I think, like progress your family. Multiplayer is taking a long time. People didn't get their Switch editions because of the Kickstarter. Yeah, gaming is just there are some stuff like that that are really upsetting that happen.
Yeah, I feel like it's very rare when you find an early access that has a lot of meat to it, but has a lot of like where the developers actually like say like, "Hey, this is what we're doing. This is our plan, and this is what's going to happen." I feel like well, what was it? Supermassive Games that did Hades 2. They posted
The early
updates.
access, yeah.
Yeah, they posted the updates constantly for the early access of where you could actually see what their plan was on the homepage of like the startup screen and what they were planning to do each step of the way. And I thought, wow, they're actually being transparent. They're giving us like like kind of like a roadmap of everything that's going to happen. I haven't seen that with
Yeah.
Fields of Mystria at all. I know that they have plans to continue the story, but for right now, it's still in early access.
Yeah, I think they have like a roadmap. That's a game that I just refuse to play before its full release. And that's like another thing that I've just become more picky with. Like I think I won't even do a review. I'll probably just stream it and then play it in my own time. Um yeah, they do have like a roadmap, but they don't show you everything. Even Gogo Town, they are having a really successful early access right now, but they just show you like, okay, for 2024, maybe like quarter one we'll do this, quarter two we'll do this. And they seem to be having like big patches coming up all the time. They're very communicative. So it's good to see stuff like that. So there's definitely good examples to go by, but then there's also like bad ones like let's say Chill Town or that stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw your video on Chilton and I saw like how just it was so amazing to me. Like I actually just like sat back in my chair in amazement. It's just like developers really act like this? Like there's some developers that really genuinely just act like this. And it was so incredible to me because when you were
Yeah.
discussing everything, it seemed like we were like back in high school because it's not supposed to be a case of where the developer completely shuts out the very person who is not only promoting the game in a video to showcase to people, but giving their honest feedback and understanding of, hey, this was my experience with this. It's like you said before, like if you get an
Yeah.
allergic reaction over a piece of food and then you're just like, well, no, I'm not going to give a good review. Why would I do that? Like if you had a bad
Yeah.
experience, you had a
And
bad
that
experience.
Yeah, in my review of that game, I was so sarcastic because I'm Lebanese, and my like Lebanese people are known to when they're upset, they're just sarcastic. Like even when a war is happening, we'll laugh at it because we're just so miserable that we'll just laugh about it because we're like, what the fuck? What else can happen right now? So that video, I was just being sarcastic the whole time. And maybe they got upset about it, but I'm like, bro, trust me, you'd rather have me be sarcastic than actually tell you how I really feel, because how I really feel, no, your game is not good. Now I have the same with Moonfrost. About their whole scummy behavior, and the developer just completely attacked my character on Twitter. So today I have a full video. I am gonna show so many things, how they're breaking policies, their fake reviews of their game, stuff like that. These are not okay. You're getting bought fake reviews about your game. I'm exposing all of it because I'm like, I try to not really get too much into detail with stuff, but now if you're gonna play this game, then let's do it.
That's good. I'm glad that you're doing that. And you know what? You guys be sure to check out her channel because not only does she post these kinds of things, breaking down things from companies and showing really honestly just the truth about a lot of things, she does a lot of good cozy games. She talks about really a lot of amazing topics. And you should just be, subscribed to her regardless because she's an amazing human. So there's that. But when it
Thank
comes down to
you.
it, I am so incredibly happy and grateful that we were actually able to set up a podcast to do. It's been a long time coming because both of us have been on and off sick the entire
Keep getting
time.
sick. Yeah, yeah.
It's just like trying to exist. It's just like please the brain just work with us.
Oh
But you
no. But
guys,
thank you for having me, and I'm glad we finally did it.
I'm so happy we finally did it. I love our conversations. I always love getting to hop on camera with you and just discussing the things that we love. It's absolutely wonderful. But you guys, I am
Yep.
so happy we got Miss Bubbles on for a podcast. You be sure to check out her content. Absolutely amazing, lovely human being. If you all like my face and what I do, please be sure to subscribe. And that was the wrong outro. I just did the other channel's outro. That's fine.
Oh no.
That's okay.
You have to do it.
Take my chapstick and go away then. Sorry. I'm just gonna exist here. My coffee's almost done. It's finally kicking in.
Oh no. Do you want to do it again, or is it
Okay,
okay?
I'm gonna do it again.
I feel you. Error 401.
Oh my gosh, but you guys, what happened to my light over there? Are you not working too? What the fuck? May your coffee treat you well and life give you a nat 20. I will see you guys in the next podcast and video. Bye, you guys.